Okay, let's look at high and low method, how it works. It's quite easy. It's one of the most used method of estimating cost. Even when the examiner is silent on how to estimate on estimating cost, this is the method to use. So let's look at this first scenario. Okay, I hope we can see this. You can always pause, have this question recorded, or you can write it if you want. You can always go back and pause it and look at the question. So this first scenario, we are giving several months, 1 to 5, giving total cost and total output. So with this, we can estimate this. The question says what will be total cost in month 6 at 11,800 units. So basically what we are doing is to using the data given to you to estimate costs, what cost will be in a particular period or month. In this case, they've given us information about month 1 to 5. You're expected to use the information given to estimate what cost will be in month 6. So like I said in the earlier topics, that for you to estimate cost, two major constants that will remain constant even for the period that the examiner is asking you is your total fixed cost and your variable cost per unit. Like I said, for you to estimate cost, all you need to do is go and get the total fixed cost for the period or for the information the examiner has given you. Find the total fixed cost in that question. Once you get it, the next thing is for you to look for the total variable cost. Sorry, the variable cost per unit. Once you can get that, then you are done. So, and it's quite easy because what basically you need to do here is for you to just estimate, look at the figures given to you, and you can just estimate the total cost, the fixed cost, the total fixed cost, and the variable cost per unit. So we'll basically quickly run into it and see how it works. So we can always go back to refer back to this question. So like I said, let's look at the how it works. We are given, so one disadvantage with this method is that it doesn't use all the data like the name implies, high and low. You look for the highest, what are the highest activity and the corresponding cost outputs. Let me use a light corresponding outputs and costs. So what is from the question we are giving, the highest outputs, I think is 8,200. Yes, 8,200. Sorry, 8,200. And the corresponding cost, is 114,500. The lowest activity there is 97,000. 97,000. So what's sorry, am I mixing up? So the lowest output there is, sorry, mixing up the numbers. So lowest output there is 6,000 with corresponding and 97,000. So 6,000 is the output and the corresponding cost is 97,000. You find the difference. This is how you calculate the variable cost per unit. Probably let me just write it here. How to calculate the variable cost per unit using high and low method. This is how you calculate the variable cost. find the difference between these numbers. Here's my calculator. 12. Okay, the difference between numbers will give us, yeah, it will give us 7722 600 500 17,500. So we can now calculate the variable cost per unit, which is 17,500 divided by 200, which will give us 27 7.95 per unit. So I've gotten a variable cost per unit. Next thing, like I said, next is to get the total cost. Therefore, how do you get the total fees cost rather? To get the total fees cost now, you insert this into the cost function. Remember the cost function say y equals to a plus bx. So our fees cost stands for a. A stands for our fees cost. A equals to the fees cost. B is the variable cost per unit. We've gotten B already as this 7.95. So let's get A. So Y and X. Y stands for total cost. Y stands for total cost, whereas X stands for your output. So we can use any of this observation on top. The high, let's use the high, or if you use the low, you still get the same answer. So if you use the high, Y stands for total cost. So it's like saying you have Y, yeah, it stands for total cost, and this X stands for your output. Write it a different, like saying here is your X, your Y, and here is your X. Output is your X. So if I slot it into this formula, Y is now output here. If I'm using the high, it is 114,500 is equal to A is what we are looking for, the fees cost. So plus B has been calculated as 7.95. X, since we took 114,500 the high, we will also carry the corresponding X 8,200. That's the corresponding output. So we can solve for A. So by the time we solve for A, we should be able to get what is our, so let's say A will become 114,500 minus 9.95 times 7.95 times the quantity of 8,200. That should give us, here's my calculator. Okay, that should give me, okay, I don't want to wait, my calculator is, so let's put it there, that is this minus this. Okay, let me calculate this my phone. Calculator is going off. So so we have 1 minute. Yeah, so 7.95 times 8200 give us 65,190. So therefore, A is equal to, which is our fixed cost. Remember, it's still fixed cost. A is equal to, which is the fixed cost, will now be 114,500 minus 65,000 minus 114,500, 49,310. So fixed cost is 49,310. So this is how to calculate these two constants, A and B. Like I said, A and B are the constants. A and B are the two constants. Always calculate what they are in the question given to you. Then you can use it to go and estimate. Therefore, let's estimate what the cost will be now. Therefore, year 6 cost. So since I've done that, year 6 cost will be easy. If I also use that cost function to say A plus BX, remember that total cost is what I'm looking for, which is Y. Total cost is equal to fixed cost plus variable cost per unit times quantity, which is the X. So I've gotten fixed cost as already 49,310 plus variable cost per unit was calculated at 7.95 into quantity 9 in year 6. The output, we are told that output in year 6 is 116. No, it's not. From the question, we are told output in year 6. Where is it again? Okay. From the question,